hospitals to international standards. And this is what a doctor, now he's a journalist, but Ali Fadel, this is what he had to say about Parsons' work. I would first like to say that Parsons bears the most responsibility for the poor quality of work. But other bodies observe Parsons' work, and all of them are partially responsible for observing and evaluating the work done by the local Iraqi firms. These bodies are the Project and Contracting Office, PCO, in Diwaniyah, and the Army Corps of Engineers. And he's mentioning Diwaniyah because there's a specific hospital he was talking about that's being built there. And so Parsons, when they were rebuilding these hospitals, they didn't consult the health officials or the staff. They didn't ask them, oh, what is it that you need fixed? He didn't even ask them for any, they didn't ask them for any specifics. So, and you can just tell their effort isn't much. I mean, there's a decrease in available beds, cracked roofs that leak, water permeable flooring which gives way to mold, old pipes that clog and result in raw sewage leaking into operation rooms. This, like, a hospital is a place you're supposed to go to when you're sick, but it's very unsanitary there. I don't think you could get better in a place where there's germs and stuff, you know? So the hospitals lack basic equipment such as oxygen factories and generators. And when they do have them, they go unused because even though Parsons provides them, they don't adequately train the medical staff on how to use them. So they also don't have enough incubators. The ones that they do have are like 20 years old and cracked. And the babies have died because doctors could not find needles small enough to fit through the veins without actually rupturing the vein. And there have been cases where they can't find a small enough oxygen mask for an infant, a premature infant, so that they also die. And that's why Iraq has one of the highest infant mortality rates in the world. So here are some more statistics. According to the UNDP, acute malnutrition among Iraqi children has almost doubled since the U.S. invasion, despite UN efforts. Approximately 400,000 Iraqi children now suffer from malnutrition. 59 in 1,000 newborn babies are dying in Iraq, and like I said, one of the highest child mortality rates in the world. And 11% of newborns born underweight in 2006. So we're all here to support Iraqi orphans, and I have some statistics on that. 4 to 5 million orphan children in Iraq right now, 500,000 of which live on the streets. There's only about 500 that are actually in orphanages, and there are only 18 orphanages in all of Iraq, 4 of which are in Baghdad. So most of the orphans are being taken in by extended family because it's not really taboo, but the culture of Iraq is really family oriented. So they want to keep everyone with the family. Yeah. So government action in regards to Iraqi children, the government recognizes the problems, but they know about the sexually abused, the orphaned, the uneducated and everything, but they're not really doing much, and therefore they're not investing in Iraq's future because the children are the future. Okay. So that was on children. I hope you're not like falling asleep or something. But now I'm going to talk about Iraqi women. So, during Saddam Hussein's regime, women were encouraged to go to school and join the professional labor market, and at the time they were considered the most liberated in the entire region. They were working as doctors, engineers, civil servants, and with the wars and sanctions, thousands of women, educated and professional women, fled because they had the money to do so. And because of the sanctions, women didn't have as many opportunities. So it took away rights from women because not even the men were being employed, and it left women even more financially stranded. So they were once considered the best educated in the Middle East, but now that's no longer true. And for the first time in Iraq, mothers are more educated than daughters, which is not a good sign. And with widows, 3 decades of violence and conflict in Iraq have left about 3 million women as widows, and that's 1 in every 10 women. So as you can see, there are a lot of problems. And to show what I mean when I say 3 decades of violence, here's a quote by Dr. Fatima El-Juwaili, a widow and a member of the League of Iraqi Women. My husband was tortured and killed by Saddam Hussein. One of my brothers fell in the senseless war with Iran, and my sister's husband was killed by the Americans. My neighbor's husband went to Jordan to find work, and she has not heard from him in 9 months. The League of Iraqi Women is involved in, they're one of the groups participating in the campaign for widows. They want a national minimum pension of $100 a month. And right now, as of now, pensions are $34 a month for widows without children, and $81 a month for widows with children. So there have been protests in all 18 provinces of Iraq to better the conditions in which the widows live, but the government has made a lot of promises and most of them go unmissed. So, yeah. But USAID, the U.S. Agency for International Development, they offer sewing classes to widows to promote financial independence. So that's one positive thing they're doing. And the reason for this effort is because they think that there is a possibility of widows cooperating with the insurgency, because they want to provide money for their children, so they'll do whatever it takes. So if it means working with the bad guys or the terrorists or whatever, they'll do it. Because a widow in Iraq is especially financially stranded, because it's hard for a widow to remarry. And it's usually only older or more pious men are willing to marry a widow, especially if she has children, because that puts more of a financial strain on them, because they have to provide for these children. And so this campaign has been going on since 2006, and local religious leaders are becoming more involved because they're concerned, because, you know, despite what probably the masses think here, they do care for the protection of women and children.